Okay, now to pick up where I left off in the back, a lot has changed over here. This was kind of our wild patch with some intentional plantings interspersed, and then just had some issues with critters, and Lane was having a hard time with the weed hacking. Other reasons, the blackberry vines looked like they were getting diseased, so I cut those back. And yeah, we just filled it up with some other stuff. So gradually this whole thing is going to be planted up. It's a lamb's quarter, just wild, we let it happen. Violets, we have lots of wild violets in the yard, and obviously I'm just letting them hang. It's a ground cherry. I overzealously seeded ground cherries, and so I just had to find places for all of them. More wild violet, and then we put, this was just sort of a wild patch, and I put in corn. I'm not starting to come up. This is the second round of corn because a lot of them squirrels found and made off with. And then I also interplanted the corn, and some of them got stolen and didn't come up at all, or maybe replanted because I only put one corn kernel in each hole, and there's 2 corn plants right there, so I shouldn't take that one. And this one has none, so I don't know what that's about. But anyway, these are lima beans, and they are supposed to be bush type, but last year they all had like a vining arm, so I just decided to put them in with the corn. I know it's not quite what you do. The strawberries, gone nuts. There's still some blackberry in there, dewberry, and some mint trying to stick up out of the middle of it. Some time getting buried. But these are more hollyhocks, and hollyhocks are medicinal, so that's partly why I wanted to put them back here, not just in the front for show. So anyway, back to strawberries. These were all done, and then I saw this lone bunch of strawberries. There's one almost right there, so I'll come back and get that one. Now I'll gingerly tread across my corn and beans here. Lots of violets that were just let happen. It's like a ton of them. The burgundy leaf blueberry has kind of struggled. I think I picked a bad spot for it, but it seems to be recovering somewhat, and those are about to get right. I put several squash down here, 3 different varieties. This is a spaghetti squash, I believe, most healthy of them. This is a butternut I actually just put out like, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, but it's getting acclimated, and that is a buttercup squash. And I figured I'd just let them have this hill, do what they do. And then I put more, this was the super wild patch. Put more hollyhocks back here, partly because I keep anticipating a bunch of them dying and then they don't die, so I'm transplanting a bunch of things. Okay, so there's hollyhocks all along here, and violet, and let the violet stay. So our really out of control oregano, and one hollyhock I planted earlier, and I don't know if this means I'm going to get blooms this year because it's already putting out little flower blooms. I need to look into that. And then we'll get to the first terrace, and this is echinacea over here. We'll talk about this thing in a minute. But echinacea, these are the red peppers that I just took out of a store-bought pepper plant. They seem the happiest of all the peppers I have. Go figure. And I interspersed a bunch of things in here, partly thinking that they wouldn't grow, but like more nasturtium, and then amaranth seeds I threw down. And there are some, I'm going to say this came from compost because there's tomatoes growing up in here, and I haven't put any tomato seeds in here, but you can see, and that looks like parsley, maybe. Growing up, I don't know if this is squirrels doing or seeds getting scattered or what, but anyways, peppers looking quite healthy, starting to put on fruits. They're just done with their flowers. Very large nasturtium, ground cherries, and then here's some beans. And I just staked these up the other day because they were getting again, bush beans, but they have like sort of long arms, and we were having wind from leftover storm. And then, so like that one. This is supposed to be a bush bean. The flippin' heck. Anyways, and then more ground cherries. And as you can see, they're starting to come on there in these little pods, little lantern looking guys. And when they are ripe, they fall to the ground. Hence the name. And they don't taste anything like a cherry. They're a little bit like a tomato crossed with pineapple, which is weird. And then these are paprika plants that are in between, and they're doing okay. And I've popped an okra in there, because again, overzealous with the seeding. Another large ground cherry. A lot of these I thought they were stunted, it wouldn't grow, and turns out I was wrong. And then it's also completely taking over this little Tulsi. This is one that I overwintered, and it looked super sad. And then as soon as I put it outside and put it in the ground, it got real happy, and I've already cut it back twice, harvested a lot from it from just one, which is cool. And then talk about this level here. And I might have to be a little bit careful, because I discovered there's a big snake friend living in our little wood pile barrier there, which, you know, makes sense. It was the right color and everything. The dirt here is pretty shallow, so I don't know if this guy is gonna live long enough to push through the cardboard and stuff underneath it. But English thyme, some parsley we're letting go to seed. There's 3 ground cherries in here that have grown up and gotten crazy big, way bigger than I thought they would. And this little guy is a volunteer, I believe, butternut squash that's just starting to flower and put out some fruits. So I keep checking it, but it's looking pretty good. I don't see any fruits. Nothing had nothing but male flowers so far. I see one female flower, hasn't opened up yet. But anyway, these ground cherries, crazy. And then this bed was Roma tomatoes and purple peppers, largely. Oh, see now? And there's an okra growing up and being happy. But these Romas, I think they're just all coming on all of a sudden. There's tons of them. And I'm guessing we're supposed to be going out of town this weekend for the first time in, you know, a year and a half. And they look like they're getting close to ripe, so hopefully they'll wait for me. But these Romas, super happy. And I planted a bunch of nasturtiums in here as companion plants, and sweet alyssum, which I hadn't planted before. This is a new one. It's supposed to be a good companion plant. Oh, there's a shot of probably one of the best peppers, our purple peppers. I put them out way too early. I didn't know. It was after the last frost, but then we had like 2 weeks of nights in the low 40s, and I think that hurt them. But anyways, live and learn. Next year, peppers don't go out till June. Anyway, so these Romas, super huge. And that was a volunteer. I don't believe I put in there. I think squirrels put that in there for me. Same thing. Bunches of Romas. And there's some pepper in between. They're looking better. They look like they're gonna at least live. And Romas, nasturtiums. This one I think has the fruit closest to being done. It's starting to get like a little orange tinge to them. I'm excited about that. And pepper. And I do have interplanted, there's onions and shallots in there. And the shallots, I think, are the happiest. The onions I started from seed, and I don't know if they're just getting shaded out or not strong enough, but that's that little guy. Sad little thing. It was supposed to be. I don't think it's going to be an onion. Alright, and so back up a smidge. And this is our peach tree. Our very happy peach tree. Oh, you know what? This is getting long. I'm going to make another video about the trees at the next level.